I was a gun control nightmare to New York City. This is how it went down. I would get in my car, drive to North Carolina, find a girl with a clean license, take her into the sheriff's department, and in 10 minutes and $13, she can walk out of there with a gun permit in North Carolina. I can drive her to the gun store, walk through there, pick out all the guns that I want, cheap value 9mm or the handgun of choice. You can get them for about $175 a pop. I would get 3 9mm, I'd put them in our car, we drive back to New York City, I can trade 3 9mm for 2 pounds of marijuana, which the street value is $10,000. Just like most teenagers in New York, I got caught up in the drug game. You know, watched a movie called Scarface, and saw the movie, and I said, wow, he made all that money in that short period of time. And I said, well, you know, if he could do that, I could do that.
But what we want to stop is an epidemic of thought and culture. We don't want people to be acculturated to say that when I'm displeased with somebody, this is the way I handle conflict.
You know, I feel like the solution to the problem is not just the elimination of the gun. You know, there has to be something that deals with why would I want to kill you? Because if that's not fixed and I don't have a gun, I'll find something else.
Gun is like your wallet. You need them. You need them.
When you have a gun, do you know if your gun is clean? Do you know if it got a body on it? Do you know anything about it?
Got my gun, I'm gone. Don't nobody need this. You live by the gun, you die by the bullet. Same gun you sell, the same gun you give away to the next person might be the gun that kill you.
1,500 people out of 1.4 million people who live in the Bronx, 1,500 people commit 90% of all the crimes.
We're talking about like most of the guns that people are saying they come from the South to New York. Do you find that to be true? Like,
absolutely, absolutely, facts. Like, come on, like 9 out of 10. That's where you go down there, come back with like 7 of them.
I was a felon. I had a felony. I did a year on Rikers Island. I was on the run, and I was buying more guns than I could imagine all throughout North Carolina.
You go behind enemy lines, you integrate, you make those relationships, and then you incarnate. You don't want to just stop there because everybody will think you're just a good guy. The only solution that we have to guns and violence in our community, in our city, in our state, in our region, in our nation is we must have a spiritual revolution.
There's a little garage over here at this yellow house, and me and my friend climbed up on that garage at night, had an M1 assault machine gun on me, and I was waiting for Curtis to pull up in his Jeep, and I had planned to unload the whole clip into his Jeep and hopefully kill him.
One of the worst things about being an elected official is I attend too many funerals of young black and brown boys who die prematurely as a result of senseless gun violence. I hold too many mothers. I hold too many grandmothers who cry uncontrollably because of the loss of their child.
I lost 2 kids to gun violence. Matter of fact, this month, February, I lost both of my kids. All these shootings. And it was like a nightmare. I woke up and said, who's giving these kids these guns?
Here I am, a criminal, a drug dealer, and a felon. And I'm walking around the gun store saying, I want that 9mm, I want that 9mm. Matter of fact, let's get 6 9mm. And I took the money out, gave it to her in the store, She walked up to the counter, bought all those guns. We left that store, and then I said, let's just, let's put it in a car. I'm gonna drive up to New York, and we're gonna sell these guns, and we're gonna make more money than you ever imagined.
What are we doing about it? All we're doing is blaming the police, blaming elected officials, just blaming everybody. So I decided, then we have to do something about it. I have to do something about it.
But the sad thing, and this is the sad reality, I have no idea where any of those weapons are today.
Selling guns to our kids in Harlem, bring them from down south.
I have no idea how many homicides, are connected to my past.
And this is real, selling guns. So this is what we're up against. And this is why I started this organization, Harlem Mothers Save, Stop Another Violent End.
I was feeling bigger than life, just got out of jail. I was working for these drug dealers called the Sims Brothers, and one of the people, part of their team, his name was Paul. So I'm walking in my hood, and I see this dude that looked like Paul, and I'm like, yo, Paul, what's up? So the dude was like, what? And started getting all in my face, and so I'm like, yo, I ain't no punk, you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? Yo, you better recognize. So, I just pushed him to the side, and I started to walk, and when I started to walk, I just heard from behind, yo, what's up now? And when I turned around, I'm staring down this gun, and I just started to take off running. I'm running. I just hear boom. Felt a punch in my leg bent down, and then when I tried to run, and I'm running away, and I'm just running, and finally I made it around the corner, and I was scared to, I thought I was gonna die. I went to the hospital, the hospital told me, yes, stay here, we're gonna call the police, we have to report this to them. So I left out of the hospital. I tried to do like Jack Bauer. I tried to take care of it on my own. I bought some Band-Aids, some rubbing alcohol, poured it on my wound, bandaged it up with Band-Aids, and went to sleep. And I just said, God, here I am, a complete thug with no relationship with God, just saying, God, help me get through the night.
Pastor Dimas is tall. That's symbolic. Because he's tall and he demands respect, tall with dignity, tall with grace, tall with having that relationship with God.
One of the things about Pastor Dimas that's profound to me is the imprint that I've seen that he's had on the life of so many individuals that I've got to meet. You see him in them. You see him in them.
He's a doer. He's a risk taker. He is a man who's fearless, who works with our young people.
He doesn't wait for others to tell him when to show up on the scene. He shows up on the scene. Why? Because of his God-given gifts and talents and ability to be able to create change, see change, and implement change. One of the things that's so powerful about him is his ability to also galvanize people.
This film that we're doing is so important because it's going to save lives. If we really, really tackle this thing, we can have great wins. And what's a greater win than a mother having her child alive with her for the rest of her life or his life, without a premature death because of a bullet that has no name on it. So that's why this is important. Let's grab it, let's pay attention, spread this around. Let's really produce change, life change.